Thanks, Prashant, for setting the context and introduction. A very good morning to all present. It's a pleasure, speaking here in front of you all, on this very, very interesting space, which is the digital SMBs, Indian digital SMBs, unlocking billion-dollar opportunity for India's future. So without wasting much time, I'll probably move forward. So we plan to present our thoughts over the course of next 30 to 35 minutes, and we broadly want to touch upon 4 or 5 broader aspects. The first part that we plan to present is we want to provide a view on how the whole of the Indian SMBs are segmented into different personas. When I say personas, I broadly mean different characteristics, right? In terms of what are the growth aspirations of these SMBs? What are the risk-taking abilities? What is the current digital savviness or adoption when it comes to usage of technology products? We know that the last 4 or 5 years have been very, very difficult for the SMBs across the globe. Wave 1 came, Wave 2 came, Wave 3 came. It was tough, but they had digital solutions to fight all the uncertainties, and hence they are, fighting and sustaining this survival. We also want to touch upon important aspect of what exactly is the customer buying journey or buying behavior when it comes to usage of different technology products and services across the tech stack. We also want to touch upon the digital opportunity, both in terms of the addressable and the untapped, which will be helpful for the supply side ecosystem while they aim towards generation of billion-dollar revenues. One important note before I move forward: the way we define a small and medium business, any business which has a headcount of 1 to 999 is how we basically present, how we basically define an SME. Moving forward, when I talk about the macroeconomic landscape, right, we basically talk about 3 different levers. If we talk about the current SMB base, the current SMB base of India stands at around 70 million. If you talk about the current scenario, it has effect on 3 important key metrics as far as the economy is concerned. The first metric, the very much important metric, is that of the GDP. We have been witnessing that the base has been contributing significantly to the country's GDP, and if I talk about the current scenario, that's roughly 34% contribution to the India's GDP. And slowly, steadily, it's paving the way towards even contributing 50% of the overall GDP. The second important metric is employment generation. We have 70 million SMBs as of today. This number has actually dipped. If you talk about 4 to 5 years, many of you must have read our previous report where we have quoted the number of 75 million. But the pandemic actually tipped this number, and slowly, steadily, we see now that the SMBs are fighting the uncertainties. So these 70 million SMBs are employing roughly around 110 million people. The third important metric that I want to talk about is exports. Roughly, the 70 million SMBs are contributing 45% to the overall exports. Moving forward, we have tried to give a view on how these SMB ecosystem in India is segregated with respect to different segments. The first segment is that of the traditional segment, where we have maximum concentration of SMBs into retail, manufacturing, BFSI, so on and so forth. Very interestingly, retail and manufacturing standalone contributes roughly 60% to the overall base. What we have also witnessed is that a lot of businesses today are going online. There are a lot of e-commerce brands coming up. D2C brand is the new normal. That has actually increased the count of logistics SMBs from 4 million to 5 million. And that's an interesting insight for us, that logistics now stand within the top 3 verticals if we see at an overall level. There are other emerging segments such as content creators, driver partners, delivery partners, where significantly the number has risen. So the question is that what has actually changed in these last 10 years? We had the same set of SMBs, doing their businesses, generating revenue. But what exactly has changed if we have to think about those 4 or 5 key parameters? The first thing that I want to touch upon here is the economic environment. We are very much aware of the financial crisis of 2008-9, which got set up, and that impacted the world in a very, very big way. The effects got carried forward for the span of next 4 to 5 years as well. Whereas if we talk about the current scenario, we had a setback due to COVID, but these SMBs are ready to fight, with technology as their tools. Number two is the growth mindset. If you imagine an SMB 10-year brag, probably he'll be happy serving the limited radius of 4 to 5 kilometers where he is operating. India is a land of 5,000 plus different cities segregated into tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, and 25,000 plus pin codes. That SMB, which is residing in that hyper locality, is very much happy serving the customers. But today, what we are witnessing, that same SMB has now got local, national, and even global ambitions. The likes of Facebook, the likes of Instagram, if I have to talk about. Instagram currently has 45,000 SMBs, which are mentioning, which are selling product to the customers, and which are even mentioning that they'll be able to export their products to customers across the world. Number three, I talk about the risk appetite. An SMB 10 years back was not ready to take risk. His main focus would be on sustaining the business. But today, these SMBs knows that what is the power of technology. ROI is a genuine concern which they have. We're going to talk about it later. But they are ready to take risk and invest in technology because they know ultimately they'll reap a lot of benefits to them in some way or the other. Number four, if I have to talk about, is the digital affluence. We know smartphones adoption was at nascent stages. If I have to take 10 years back scenario, Facebook, Instagram, a lot of social media was setting it up. But today, what we witness is something else. SMBs want to get into the mindset of the customers. They want to establish the connect so that they're able to understand the sentiments of the customer through chat-based discovery channels such as WhatsApp. So this is the new normal that we are witnessing if I have to compare an SMB of today. So moving forward, so what we have actually covered till now is we have tried to get a hint in terms of how these SMBs have evolved over a period of time. So if I have to think of 4 different time frames, probably wave 1 was the one where probably discoverability was on top of their regard, where they would go to Just Style, probably list themselves in the form of free listing, or go to an IndiaMart kind of channel, because for them, visibility was important. The second wave was more governed by social media platforms such as Facebook or an Instagram or even Amazon. Amazon led the way for these 1 million plus registered merchants so that they were able to fulfill their dreams and ambitions and generate revenues. The next wave was where probably there were DIY capabilities given to these SMBs, because what we witnessed was that a lot of them actually starting to get aware on these different tools and technologies, how they can build their storefronts, and their players like Shopify came into existence. The very recent model is that of the discovery e-commerce, where these SMBs want to grow, want to interact with their customers, want to do business, even do repeat business. For them, personalization, customer experience, getting repeat business from the same customers are really, really important. And that's what we really see the sentiments coming up in the wave 4. So what we've now, just to flip, just to do a quick dipstick, we've tried to understand a bit about how these SMBs have evolved over the last few years, how they're categorized into different ways. That actually prompted us to put together a digital SMB 2.0 persona framework. Now, what we have actually tried to do here is we have tried to touch upon, the key metrics which are actually, impacting the SMB ecosystem in a big way, right? Number one metric is the technology readiness and the affluence towards technology for these SMBs. Number two is the growth aspirations or ambitions that we have to talk about. And number three is the risk appetite. Considering our experience over the last 5 years interacting with these 3,000 plus SMBs across different cities of India, we have tried to put together a persona framework citing 4 different personas. When I talk about the first persona P1 basically refers to all the SMBs which are really content with what they're doing today. To give you an example, they'll be the Gen X kind of people who are based in either metro or non-metro cities. They're owner of mom and pop stores. You may want to take an example of a small sweet shop or somebody telling toys, or somebody setting, clothing sort of things. Now that individual is happy with whatever revenue he's making after every year. For example, he's earning, let's say, 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs. He's content. He knows that, okay, fine, this is the customer base that will come to me, and I don't know technology. I don't have any technical know-how. Neither I want to expand because I don't have funds. I'm happy the way I'm living. Please don't disturb me. But yes, they are WhatsApp and Paytm friendly because that's the power of digital, which has revolutionized the country in a big way. And they may be using smartphones, and they will prefer to use content in Indic languages. Persona number 2 for me is the persona where, think of any mom and pop store or maybe any other SMB who have decade-old establishments. So we have Gen Y coming into the picture now, right? And probably a father-son combination. He says, okay, fine, father, we were earning 15 lakh rupees till now every year. Probably, how can we change the game by probably churning around the next set of 15 lakhs? The intent is there to grow the business. He's the one who's actually telling his father that we should expand outside this 5-kilometer radius today. And how we can do that? By getting more discovery, by transacting with the customers who are present outside our vicinity. And that's when he starts to think that probably he should get a website for themselves. And business majorly here is driven by word of mouth. If I talk about the next persona, who is mostly a risk taker kind of a persona, here probably we will have Gen X, Gen Y individual operating in different tier 2 cities. He knows the power of technology, but there is a limited customer base. One simple example for this can be any startup kind of a concept, or any new SMB, which is a new entrant in the last 12 months or 24 months. He knows, okay, fine, I've started a new business, be it manufacturing, be it retail, be it any vertical. He has to invest in technology because he knows that's going to fetch him returns. Not readily or immediately, but over the course of next 5 years or 10 years. So he's happy with even generation of low ROI. And because he doesn't have that much of funds to invest, he probably expecting freemium or low cost solutions to run his business. He may own a website also, and he may own an e-commerce platform. So this is the persona where probably a lot of DIY capabilities sort of come into the picture. The next persona for us is the P4 persona, which is a tech plus persona. Here you will have people or SMBs who can be from different generations operating in most likely tier 1 or tier 2 cities. All the export businesses would fall under this tech plus persona, the people who are doing export businesses. Even there are SMBs, a lot of SMBs across different tangents of their business, who are 100% dependent on aggregators. A case in point, there is an SMB who is into manufacturing of chairs. For example, we got a chance to speak. He's doing his 100% business from Amazon, and they are generating revenues of over 5 crores, 6 crores. And he's happy the way things are going forward. Vis-a-vis, there is an SMB who's now realized that, okay, fine, I got listed on aggregator, I was doing some X revenues. Now it's time for me to get into the independent model and probably nourish from there. He is willing to invest in technology because he knows he needs to create a customer experience for all his customers. He needs to provide personalization. He wants to only reach out to those 20 or 30 customers who can give them 80% of their revenues, if you have to imagine the larger picture. He may use a dynamic website or an e-commerce storefront such as Shopify, and he also has exposure to different digital marketing tools because he wants visibility for his business. I now take. I now want to pass on the session to my colleague Chetan, who will talk about the next set of insights in the presentation. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Pranav, for sharing the insights around how the SMB ecosystem and landscape has changed, despite facing a lot of critical challenges when it comes to navigating their businesses through COVID, or even facing challenges to the posed by the current recession that is going on. As you may all have read through the in the agenda as well, and in the concept note that was shared, we in the next section we are going to share our insights that we have gathered based on talking to these SMBs. Typically 100 odd SMBs we have ended up in having deep conversation with, and understanding their business priorities, their technological investment areas, how do they even go about when it comes to shortlisting and analyzing which solution to invest in and which particular area to invest in. So moving forward, this in this few slides, I will walk you through about these 4-5 opportunity areas that we have also addressed, and I try to understand in detail of how the mindset of SMB has changed after navigating through so many changes in the recent Indian economy. So talking about the business priority, interestingly, what we have found out as a part of our survey is that now more and more SMBs are focused on scalability and growth avenues. Like as it was shared in the poll as well, majority of the responses that we were able to see were also hinting towards that the areas that we have also been able to see through our survey, that SMBs are now focusing upon improving customer retention, optimizing cash flow to maximize profits. They are now moving ahead from the laggard mindset that they are just content with their business that is going on. Now they are hungry for the growth of their business. They want to understand that how technological solutions can help them improve their ROI, how they can reach to more customers, how they can retain those customers, how efficiently they can manage and plan their workforce. Do they even need to invest in higher skilled workforce to increase their scale and business growth? Or is it something that they need to focus on enhancing their product or innovating their product styles? Interestingly, what we have also tried to understand here is the bifurcation of these business priorities as per different personas. As you may see, majority of the responses have been focused upon the mature personas, that is from growth, risk taker, and tech plus persona. What we also observed was that 86% of these SMBs that had opted for scalability and growth as their first preference for the business priority, majority of them still are belonging to the manufacturing vertical, which is a very interesting angle to understand. If let's say today a large enterprise or a startup were to focus upon investing into digital solutions or helping SMBs solve for certain challenges in manufacturing, IT, ITS, and BFSI are some of the verticals that have come out on top while looking through their different business priority aspects. While we also observed that 40% of the respondents who wanted to optimize cash flow and maximize their profits are from the growth and risk taker persona. Moving ahead, we have also tried to understand their IT investment priorities and their preference towards horizontal different solutions. When it comes to IT investment priorities, they are looking to invest in digital solutions to boost their operational efficiencies, realize higher ROI on their returns, automate workflows, and somewhat are adopting these solutions just for the regulatory push that is being made through the government. On the right-hand side of the slide, as we may see, the adoption level percentages across different persona. This is something that we have been observing, that the content persona is just focusing on accounting and finance solutions. The growth plus persona wants to move ahead from this barrier of just focusing on and the accounting and finance persona into adopting marketing solutions. They are just begin to focus upon creating their social media presence on Facebook, Instagram, like Pranav had shared his perspective in the persona map. While the risk taker and tech plus personas are now gearing towards adopting digital solutions across all different avenues. Interestingly, what we also were able to understand was that majority of these SMBs from the P3 or the risk taker persona have also begun to adopt these solutions because of the regulatory push that we have been observing. Interestingly, as next section, what we also observed was how they intend to raise capital for these digital investments and who are the key influencers. As we may all have seen through various different studies or our experiences with these SMBs, that we used to, up until now, we used to believe that local IT resellers or the system integrators who were in constant touch with these SMBs were the primary source of influencing for the as an influencer for these SMBs. But on the contrary, what we were able to find out during this study is that the internal and IT teams also have a significant amount of role to play when it comes to investing or deciding in which solution to invest in. When it comes to identifying avenues to raise these capitals, SMBs are more focused about taking a majority of their chunk from their existing profits or to increase their revenue to multi-folds. Whereas only of the mature persona SMBs who have a credible credit history are able to raise the debt from banks. Otherwise, all the emerging segment SMBs are more focused about raising money through private lenders. Interestingly, what we were able also to find out is the different priority or the evaluation parameters that these SMBs try to work through whenever they want to select or understand any solution. Up until now, again, our contrary belief have been that they just want low cost, high ROI justified solution. But in case of this survey that we have done, interestingly, we were able to identify that now the majority of these SMBs are focused upon having a user-friendly UI UX. Their details or their evaluation parameters have moved beyond the scope of just having a low-cost solution. They want easy deployment, they want ease of configuration and customization, as well as a friendly UI UX. While just only 4% of these SMBs which were focused on these evaluation parameters are focusing upon data security and built-in analytics while selecting a digital solution. As next steps, we have also been able to understand the overall digital opportunities that these SMBs may pose for the ecosystem that are focusing upon the SMB segment. And here we have been able to identify that currently the total digital opportunity stands at close to $12 to $14 billion, whereas the total untapped opportunity that is out there is close to $24 to $26 billion, and which is expected to grow to $70 to $75 billion in the next 5 years or so. On the right-hand section of the slide, we have also tried to identify that what is the tapped opportunity split by different personas, coming to P1, content, growth plus, risk taken, and tech plus. And interestingly, we are able to understand that risk taken and tech plus persona are posing the highest amount of share when it comes to this digital opportunity. As next steps, we have also tried to understand that what this ecosystem is doing for the SMBs to boost their digital adoption. And here we have tried to analyze the ecosystem through 4 different levers, that is tech ISVs, large enterprises, startups, and governments. As tech ISVs are more focusing upon giving access to enterprise-grade solutions with transparent pricing, LEs are again focusing upon making these solutions affordable for these SMBs, while startups want to push mobile and cloud-first technologies, and government in tandem to these initiatives is trying to make these SMBs as Atmanirbhar, as our Prime Minister also talk about. Interestingly, in the next sections of the slide, we have done a deep dive analysis on these different initiatives that have been taken. If I were to talk about these tech ISVs, recently Meta has launched no-cost EMI feature for SMBs advertising their businesses online, whereas enterprises like Tata, Microsoft have also partnered with Tata Telebusiness Solutions to offer Microsoft Azure solutions on a pay-as-you-go model, which has been one of the dire needs of these SMBs over the years, to have transparent pricing models. Moving on to the next section, which is the large enterprises. Here we have been able to understand that given government has now pushing a lot on ONDC, which is the Open Network for Digital Commerce, enterprises like DBS have partnered with GoFugal Technologies to help SMBs integrate their ERP offerings into this ONDC network. Moving ahead, when we talk about startups, there are a lot of initiatives that are happening. Startups are now partnering and offering new services to help SMBs avail their services without even charging any commission. With the likes of Swiggy has recently launched Minis, which is enabling SMBs to sell their products across India without any commission being charged. Whereas enterprises like Lending Card have have acquired upwards to strengthen their personal loan offerings, which is one of the, again, key pain point and challenge area for these SMBs. From the government side of things, while we have talked about pushing for open network for digital commerce, while the government has also partnered with Zoho, they are also incentivizing SMBs to opt for .in domain instead of .com, which is the more popular of them all. As next steps, we have also tried to understand that what the ecosystem will look like in the next span of 5 to 10 years, and how the key parameters that we try to analyze this SMB ecosystem on, how will they change? Basis our understanding, we were able to identify that the contribution by these SMB segment in GDP is going to increase up to 50% in the next 5 to 10 years. While talking about the current base of SMBs, which lies at close to 70 million, this base is expected to reach to 87 million odd SMBs, wherein traditional SMB segments will cater to 76 million of these. Whereas the digital influence of this SMB is expected to also increase from current rate at 70% to close to 85%. Additionally, what we were able to also understand was that contribution to the workforce by the SMB segment is supposed to increase up to 55 to 60%. Now, looking at these parameters, we are very confident that this question that we all ponder upon, that does SMB segment offer a sizable opportunity for large enterprises and startups to focus upon this or not, even after facing challenges like COVID or the current recession. But through our analysis and the direction that we are able to look into, we are fairly confident that SMBs will still are going to pose a vast majority of opportunities for the large enterprises and startups focusing on this segment. This is all that we had from our end. Thank you so much. We will now just open the forum for questions that you may have, and I'll hand it over to Prashant to take it forward.
Sure. Thanks, Chetan, and thanks, Pranav. Very, very engaging presentation as such. We've got a few questions, and we will be taking them. To couple of questions from the audience is, can we get a copy of the presentation? We're in the final leg of completing the report. The report will be released later part of next month. What we request all the attendees is, if you can just share your point of view, if you want to read this report, what are the top 3 pointers that you want to see in this report? In case if you would have missed, we would definitely like to add that in the report. That would be really helpful for all of you in this event. Chetan, you can stop sharing the screen as of now. Pranav, one of the questions that we have got is, based on your research, how many new businesses have started annually? And on the flip side, what's the attrition rate first?
Okay, so every day we see new startups, new businesses getting accepted in, right? As far as the analysis that we did, typically a ballpark range somewhere around 80 to 90 lakh businesses get incepted every year. And I think in terms of the death rate, it's somewhere around 30 to 40% is what we are hearing and what we have counted for.
Got it. But any specific reasons, Pranav, that 30 to 40% when you mentioned is dying down? Any top 2 reasons why they have been dying down? Have you done that part of it?
Okay. In fact, this number was more than 40. In fact, I would say 40 to 50%. In fact, digital has probably reduced this number. And so again, the top 2 reasons for death rate. So there are these SMBs who invest into different verticals, different business models. But again, the long-term plan is not there. So think of an SMB. Let's say an SMB wants to open a simple grocery store today, right? In any probably a neighborhood vicinity or somewhere. So I think what's important for him to understand is obviously what investment he's going to do that fetches him the ROI, what solutions he's using. What is the USP of that particular grocery store vis-a-vis the competitors? Because in the neighborhood, we have to fight the competition also. So there's a SWOT that comes into play. So I think it's a game of calculation, I would say, because there is a saturation point when a business knows that, okay, fine, I cannot sustain beyond this point. And that is actually happening a lot in the startup space also, where new businesses are getting incepted.
Got it, understood. To all the audience, if you have any questions and you want to directly ask Pranav and Chetan, just raise your hand, we will unmute you and you can ask the same. Pranav and Chetan have a next question. You both have been following SMB space for the last 5 years. And I remember the report has been coming since I think 2017 and such. What are some of the key shifts and changes that you have seen in the SMB space, number one? And let's say if I'm a large enterprise company or a very mature startup, what trends I should focus on?
So talking about what has changed in this SMB space recently, like Pranav has also talked about the various persona stages of how we see this SMB ecosystem divided into. Nowadays, the SMBs are not just focused upon creating their online digital presence on just aggregator platforms or just having their presence on Amazon for that matter, or likes of Flipkart. When I talk about the digital maturity, they are more aware of what the social media marketing or digital marketing can help. What is the significance of adopting certain digital solutions in their business? As per their scale, they are able to adopt certain solutions, starting from accounting and finance as the first category, and then moving beyond into solutions like HR payroll, productivity, marketing, and so on and so forth. So I would say that SMBs are now more aware of their surroundings. They have the intent to grow their business. While 2 to 3 years back, most of the SMBs were sort of stuck in their own quadrants or the personas that we had defined. Majority of them were not able to make the jump from the persona to, that is the growth persona, to a risk-taking persona, because they were not aware of what kind of opportunities or help can they get from the ecosystem. With the advent of COVID and the current recession, with increasing focus of these large enterprises, these SMBs are now sort of gained a little bit of more trust when it comes to taking that leap forward in investing into digital solution and have more clarity on the ROI aspect of things. So all in all, I would say that their growth mindsets have changed. They are now not focused just upon, or they're not scared on investing money back into their business. They want to achieve that scale because they have been seeing within their community as well that few of the SMBs who have been able to take that leap of faith or have jumped from the persona of a growth to a risk-taking persona have been able to reap more benefits. So now all I would say that it is also a herd mentality that by seeing other SMBs, they are now trying to make more shifts into their business priorities.
Got it. Thanks, Chetan. Another question that I have for both of you is I know for a matter of fact, as Zinnov has been, and you both have been primarily involved in executing key projects for large enterprise and mature startups in telecom, software, internet, and other sectors, and helping them in their market expansion strategy. What are some of the myths that you came across? Point number one. And what were your personal learnings when you delivered those projects? What were your personal learnings from the ecosystem or from those engagement per se?
Sure, Prashant. So I'll probably answer it in two perspectives. So first, probably there is a lot of myth about these technology or digital solutions, right? So in fact, few of the customers tell us that you please go into the market and get us the reality. So what we are hearing from these SMBs on ground, few of them probably I want to quote it at this forum. So one common myth that I really get from them is let's say if an SMB adopt a technology solution, they have to incur a significant amount of money. That can be on any horizontal solution, any vertical solution, or any sort of solution across the tech stack. The point is that money going to fetch them ROI on their revenues? That's one thing. Number two, they are not sure if whatever solution they are using for their businesses, that can be configured or customized. They feel that, okay, fine, all the tech ISVs, they have built some standard products and we only have to do is that. So in case there is a customization element to that, they're not sure whether that's gonna help them. Number three, a very common myth for specifically solutions such as ERP or any vertical solution across healthcare or hospitality, they feel that so let's say they know their need of the business, what modules they need in a solution or what workflows they need, but they feel that probably they have to buy the entire packet or entire solution from the provider. So they feel probably they're shedding extra money from their pocket because they don't need all the set of modules which are available. One second thing I want to touch upon is more towards, there's a lot of buzz around cloud specifically, since we are seeing that there's a lot of traction, SaaS cloud-based solution. So the two or three things that we are continuously hearing is from the SMB is that they feel that cloud is very expensive for us. If we'll go and invest in cloud, probably we'll incur a huge amount. Second concern is regarding data storage and data security, because a lot of them are not comfortable to move the data on cloud. And third thing, probably again a myth, the biggest of them what we're witnessing, they feel that cloud is not for us. They're only for the bigger customers, large enterprises. So these are some of the common things that we're hearing from the customers.
Got it. Just an add-on question that we got from the audience. For an SMB today, what is the preferred option to go digital first? Is it website, social, marketplace? And do you have any specific reason to define that choice? Any comments on that?
Okay, so I mean, again, it depends. So let's say any SMB who starts or incepts his business, typically he want to go in a freemium mode. He would not want to straight away invest in technology because the initial thought process is to achieve the break even. So I would say probably going to for any SMB, the first and foremost thing is getting his business discoverable to the masses, letting his customer know that I am there, I am offering this. If you want this, I can sell you. So I think the first and the go-to source for him is probably going to a Facebook or an Instagram kind of a social media platform and listing his business, probably do a free listing on Just Dial before even he goes to invest in technology. So I would say, and plus there are a lot of free storefronts. There are a lot of concepts in the market which is offering them free websites. So whatever is free, probably that's stage number one. Then probably slowly, steadily invest in technology.
Got it.
So just to add to this question, Prashant, while Pranav has definitely shared the right set of mindset that these SMBs carry currently, but basis our current research, what we also have been able to identify and see is that with the recent initiatives that government is also trying to take in terms of providing incentives into setting up websites, digital website or digital presence for these SMBs, I think that in the next 2 to 3 years, they are now going to transition for just having their basic social media presence by creating a business page or just having their listing done on Just Dial and IndiaMart. They are going to now focus more on having static websites, right? I will not go and right now just say that they would have dynamic websites, but just having static websites with .in domain, wherein government is also trying to invest a lot of in these SMBs and is trying to provide more initiatives.
Got it. Understood. We are getting a lot of questions. One of the questions that we have got is, when I asked, what are the focus areas that you want in the report, we have got a lot of suggestions. To all those, we're going to take that offline. We'd like to understand more about what you're looking for in that segment. Another question that we have is, with the increased cost stemmed from inflation to geopolitical issues, firstly, what's the impact on affordability of a micro and small business to spend on digitalization, and if possible? And secondly, what are your learnings and how much are they willing?
So on an average, if I talk about these difficult personas, the content persona or the growth plus persona, where majority of the base of these SMBs lie today, on an average, they are only spending close to 2,000 rupees per month, 2,000 to 2,500 per month on different technologies, right? So yes, over there, the concept of analyzing and critically analyzing the situations, where to invest money, which solution to choose who will be the key influencers come in very into the picture, right? And becomes very important for these SMBs. So what we believe is that now with the current sort of financial strain also happening from the Indian economy aspect, these SMBs are going to be more judicious about spending this 2,500 rupees that they're going to spend on different technologies. And I think that they will not move beyond the basic know-how of their solutions or the solutions that will just help in their day-to-day businesses, right? So if talking hypothetically, if today an enterprise were to come and sell let's say, digital marketing solutions to these SMBs, or were to showcase or make them understand that, see, if you invest into our digital marketing program or having a presence online will make you get more customers, right? That is something that they're not going to focus upon. They're going to go back on their basics. They're going to go back on the areas where they feel more comfortable. And if over there an enterprise have a displacement strategy wherein they are able to give them transparent pricing in pay-as-you-go models, or even if they are giving the ability to pick and choose solutions from the stack that they're offering, right? Those are the kind of strategies that will help these enterprises to start selling to these personas first, and then slowly and eventually make them used to their solutions, and then try and upsell those their offerings.
Got it. Understood. I see a lot of questions from the audience that are coming in is try to understand SMB a little better. And that pushes me for the next question that I have for both of you. You have been talking to a lot of SMB players, either by way of engagements or even for creating the report by way of primary interviews for the upcoming report. What are some of the key focus areas of SMB, and what kind of support are they looking for from large companies or maybe mature startups? What's your take?
So like I said, see, majority of them are looking for easy to use solutions, right? Like we have also seen that now the tech ISVs are also trying to focus more towards transparent pricing, or like startups are trying to offer mobile first and cloud-based solutions, right? That is the need of an hour. The SMBs try and understand that what's the sort of advantage of adopting a SaaS solution as compared to a non-SaaS solution. They do understand that they just have to incur less cost in terms of in the longer run, even because the primary reason for adopting a SaaS solution is to just transfer all the dependencies of maintaining that solution in-house to the tech ISV or a startup or a large enterprising offering that solution, right? Which is what the SMBs also want. They want managed services, right? But primarily what they want, or the kind of areas that Pranav had also highlighted before, is that they want transparent pricing. They want pay-as-you-go kind of a model wherein they can choose what solutions to invest in for a particular year, right? Because the dynamics are ever changing. Because they're not very diligent into doing the business planning for the next 2 or 3 years, they take these kind of situations as financial year basis, right? They may see that, okay, their peers are changing some certain strategies and they're able to invest in certain ROIs. So they tend to have a dynamic relationship with their investments when it comes to their digital solutions. So the need of the hour is to have a transparent pay-as-you-go model, whereas to also make them aware about what benefits will they get from these while adopting these SaaS solutions, right? They can pick and choose certain solutions and modules within the solution as well. They don't want a complete stack that is being offered. And this is primarily, I'm talking about the lower end of the persona, which is the content and the growth plus, right? They want the ability to customize their solutions, right? And have them on an a la carte basis rather than having just a group of bundle offerings pitched to them.
Got it. So basically what you're trying to say is that large enterprise or even mature startups should customize their solution to focus on their need rather than going with the boutique solution that these are my 10 things. That is not going to happen. Okay, this is your problem. Yeah. You pay for one, because this is your requirement, and then you solve for it and then go for the next one.
And this creates a very good lever for these startups and large enterprises to also upsell these solutions, right? Okay. Because those are the kind of, for having these large enterprises and startups to find hooks for entering and pitching these solutions to these lower end of the persona is the key way to go to sell these solutions to the SMBs. Once you have created a hook, you can always upsell the solution to these SMBs.
Got it. Understood.
And just to add to Chetan's point, right? What we have also been hearing is so think of it that we are going to a restaurant. We're going to have dinner or lunch. We usually have buffet option also. We have a la carte option also, right? So SMB exactly is not aware of how should he choose the technology solution vendor or solution. So there are a lot of initiatives specifically which have been taken to bundle the solution. That okay, fine. We'll bundle collaboration. We'll bundle connectivity. We'll bundle security, so on and so forth. A lot of enterprises and tech ISVs are actually trying that, so that because they understand that okay, fine. If I have to target P1 persona, probably this is the product or solution that I can sell to that persona, right? So there are a lot of case studies and best practices that these ISPs are following. But again, having said that, customer should be flexible to choose whether he wants to opt for an a la carte sort of offering or a bundle sort of offering that should cater to the current business needs of that customer.
Got it. Fantastic. Thanks, Chetan. Thanks, Pranav. So, we're in the last leg of our session, and I had one last question for you both. Considering 2022, COVID, 2022, how the 2020 has started, what if it's one suggestion or one input as a consultant that you would like to give to mature startups or large enterprise, how they should look 2023 with respect to SMBs? What should be their confidence? Should they go with yes, absolutely, just go very aggressive? Or it's like, okay, we need to cross-check, recheck how they should look 2023.
Okay, so simple thing, help SMBs grow their customer and the enterprises will go forward. I'll probably put it in that words. Give them more customers, you'll get more customers.
Chetan, any comment from you?
So while I would echo this thought, I just like to add one more lever to this that, which I think a lot of enterprises are trying to solve for as a challenge for these SMBs is to understand that the ROI realization for adopting these digital solutions, right? Right now, what we have also, through our engagements over the course of time, what we have also seen is that a lot of the fleet on street is the key phase for that particular large enterprise or the startup that is going to sell, right? Where it could be in form of FOS or the sales rep that is trying to sell the solution or is trying to establish the first set of connect to these SMBs, right? Having to equip these kind of first responders, I would say, with the best amount of knowledge into understanding what is the typical persona of an SMB is, right? Knowing your customer before you even target him with your plethora of offerings that you have. You may want to talk in certain aspects related to that persona, right? You may not want to talk about, let's say, what digital marketing can do to a growth kind of or a content kind of a persona, right? And similarly, you may not want to talk about that, you have a bundle, we have an a la carte offering or pay-as-you-go model to a mature or a tech tech SMB, right? So knowing your customer and enabling these sort of first responders with the right set of knowledge and pitches, right? And I'm not talking about just having one certain pitch which goes into the marketing document and then these first responders take it forward to these SMBs. Having to customize those sort of pitches as per their personas, right, will help these enterprises into selling and converting their sort of sales ratio effectively and eventually will grow their base of customers.
Got it.
Because SMBs today understand the need of our that. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, sorry, complete. Sir.
Yeah. So like I was saying that SMBs today understand the need of the hour that digital is the way. That unless and until they adopt in these digital solutions, they won't be able to grow and scale their business.
Got it. Thanks. Jishnu, I see you've raised your hand. I'm gonna allow you to speak. If you have any questions, you can ask. Jishnu?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing me, Prashant. Hi, Pranav. Hi, Chetan. Very engaging session. A lot of insights and a lot of data shared, properly presented as well. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So the question I had is with respect to foreign SMBs who are coming into India, right? So we traditionally had an outsourcing model where foreign companies would approach Indian companies and, they would go through a staffing model to hire employees. Now you have companies reaching out to India from an employer of record model. I'm sure you're familiar with the employer of record or the PEO model. And once they land in India, soft land in India, they have a team. One is, of course, to sustain their development, internal development requirements, whether it be software development or any kind of work that they can utilize the Indian employees for. And the second is to target the Indian market itself, the 1.4 billion strong Indian market, which is also free. So now many of these companies are not large enterprises. They're small companies based out of United States or Europe. So what should the approach of technology or service-based companies be with respect to these foreign companies? Because as far as I understand, the approach, the sales approach, or the way to engage these businesses would be very different from the Indian SMBs. So would like more insights from you on this.
Got it. Thanks, Jishnu, for the question. I mean, maybe I can touch upon a few of the insights, right? So the point that you touched upon, I think they'll be mostly applicable to the ITS sort of companies, right? Which are more technology driven. So two things into consideration. So let's say if you say that there's a company which is HQ in foreign, probably trying to get set operations in India, probably they have whatever they're doing to have some staffing. So I think two considerations very important. One is, when it comes to the adoption of usage of the technology solution, I think it would have to directly come from the HQ. So from the decision making part, I think that's sorted. Second interesting observation, while that SMB is trying to partner with that foreign company in whatever model they are partnering, I think what is very important is to have a view in terms of the products and services and who's your target audience there. Ultimately, two things are important. One, what is my offering? Second, who are my customers? Third, how I'm reaching out to those customers, right? Because the decision making part of that, the decision making part is sorted, right? So I think probably these are the three aspects when probably the leadership thinking about the strategy part, or how do they get into the roots of Indian market. So I think that initial dipstick has to be sorted before even they talk about technology there. I'll probably put it in that way, very early high level thoughts, but we can connect offline to discuss more in detail in terms of how we are looking at it.
I would really appreciate some time, because I will have some follow-up questions, and I would like to.
Yes, same here. So I think we can connect offline and take this forward.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I connect with you. No worries. Any other questions from the audience? We'll just give it a 10 seconds kind of a thing. Also, if in case there are certain things that you want, in case you want to get this report, and there are certain key feeders that you feel that should be in the report, do write an email to us, and we'll be happy to take that into considerations. I think we're on the top of the hour. Chetan, would you like to just close the event for us by giving a closing note?
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Prashant, for setting up and hosting us for this event today. So talking in terms of these SMBs, like we said, that the space has plethora of opportunities when it comes to understanding this from the lens of large enterprises, startups, or tech ISVs. I would say this has been an interesting space for these different set of enterprises for a long time now. They have been devising these strategies to target SMBs as per the best of their knowledges and their strategy that they have been building so far. I would say that this opportunity is going to grow multifold in the coming years. Like we have seen that it is projected that these SMBs are now going to contribute almost close to 50%, where they are currently standing at 34 or 40% on the overall GDP contribution, right? Manufacturing, retail, and logistics are the sort of segments which have the majority of contribution. And we have also seen a lot of tech enterprises and ISVs currently supporting these sort of verticals as well into their growth. So all in all, I would say that the outlook for this segment is looking very bright. We need to understand and break it down at a personal level. One same strategy for all enterprises for all SMBs may not work. As we have also touched upon briefly, that they need to have an a la carte offering, and having to custom-made tailored solution for the lower end of the persona is the need of the hour. But what we feel that these enterprises can tap into and then explore multitude of digital opportunities as well and grow their revenues multifold.
Great. Thank you so much, Pranav and Chetan, for taking out time. I know even the report is not ready. We pushed you to give the ecosystem the flavor what we are coming up. We will be releasing the report later half of next month. To all the attendees who have attended, you will get the first-hand copy from us for sure. In case you have any queries, questions regarding the SMBs, do write to us. We'll be happy to get on a call and try to help you in any way we can. Do expect a thank you email from me. That's all from our side. Thank you so much. See you in our next sessions. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Take care.
everyone.
Stay safe.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.